Good morning, Wednesday morning car rant. So I'm on my way to Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I'm doing a presentation. I'm going to talk about the impact on the family, dealing with substance use disorder, that kind of thing. Now, that's not what I'm ranting about today. That's not what I want to talk about today. And I don't even know if this is more of an introspective kind of intellectual talk than a rant. And I've already talked about this a little bit. You know, I saw this article on NPR where they were talking about Americans being lonely, record-setting levels of loneliness. Now, understand that there's a scale, an assessment that people take, and you get a score. And so this is kind of scientific. It's survey-driven. This isn't just kind of people throwing out their opinion and saying Americans are lonely. It's real deal stuff. And so over half Americans report being lonely, not having any friends that they can talk to, not having any close friends. Nobody really knows them well. Even people even people who have a family, that's sometimes the case. And then there's all kinds of theories around this and what's happening with this. Is this because of the explosion of social media? Is this because the technology and the day and age that we live in, where you can have 5,000 friends spread across the United States, but you can't even have 5 friends that are close, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. And then on the heels of that, I saw an article was sent to me, and this is I don't think this was mainstream information, but it was Google Health is looking at a lot of like how do you apply technology to working with people in the healthcare industry, and they examined the connection between depression and screen time. And here's what they found, like a direct correlation between the number of hours you spend on screens, engaged in social media, and suicidal thinking. And I think what's going on, guys, if you think about how human beings are wired, so we're social creatures. And whether we want to admit it or not, there's a dominance hierarchy that exists. You'll hear people talk about this. Like in all primate groups, somebody's in charge, somebody's better than the others, somebody gets more if they're better than the others. That's kind of like how we're sort of hardwired as Homo sapiens. We're constantly measuring ourselves up to the group. We can't help it. That's what we do. So now imagine the implications of 24-hour access to measuring yourself up against the group. No wonder it leads to depression. And imagine being a kid. This is where it really gets me. This is with my kids, man. I'm telling you, I'm on an aggressive disconnecting campaign with my kids. Because here's the thing. As your brain's developing and you're really figuring out where your place is in the world, and you have all those messages coming at you, and we have this system set up that parses people out as the gifted students and parses people out as the special education students and labels a person with this and labels a person with that and puts you through your factory school. As you got that going on, so you're grinding your way through the factory, and if you're a winner, hey, that's great. But if you've been labeled a loser, that's horrible. Imagine that that's in your face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine that you're continuously reminded how not cool you are via social media. So you could see the other article that I read that I just got information on, record-setting levels of anxiety. Record-setting levels of anxiety. When we live in the safest period of time in human history in terms of physical threats. We really live comfortable lives, guys. Let's get real. None of us, there is poverty, there are people who are struggling, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, if you compare this to human history, we live in very comfortable times. Why is everybody spun up? I'm telling you. Now again, the irony of this is I'm going to post this video on social media. And I'm going to look for likes, and I'm going to look for views, and I'm going to want you to share it. Share this video. And then I'm going to want you to go to my blog, recoverycartel.com. That's the grand irony here, and I get that. But listen, I don't take this stuff too seriously. Don't take it so seriously. Hopefully you get something out of these videos and you get something out of the message that I'm trying to put out there. But understand, like, social media, you're getting a slice of the pie. You know I'm all screwed up. I've shared it on social media. You've seen videos of me and my quote-unquote perfect family. You've heard me talk about being up all night, sitting on the edge of my bed thinking, can I do this one more day? Wanting to run away. You know that's how I roll. You're not getting the sparkly images on Rich Jones. You're getting the real deal. So what do? Disconnect as much as possible, for sure. But I don't think disconnecting is the ultimate answer. I think having a perspective. Understand that those folks who are putting out all these images and polishing them all up are full of it. That's really not how they're rolling. That's really not how life is. It's not all bells and whistles, man. And then also, get this to Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, you're a drug dealer in a t-shirt. Dopamine hits. That's what you're dealing. All right, later.